World War II was a time of unprecedented innovation, but also unimaginable cruelty. Behind the front lines, in secret labs and hidden camps, the Nazi regime pursued bizarre and horrific experiments in the name of science and victory. From twisted medical trials on prisoners to strange technological projects years ahead of their time. This is the dark side of WWII science, where ambition, desperation, and evil collided. Nazi science and obsession. The Third Reich prided itself on being modern, efficient, unstoppable. Science was at the heart of its propaganda, proof, they claimed, of their superiority. But as the war dragged on and defeat loomed, Nazi leaders demanded breakthroughs. Any breakthrough. No matter the cost. Hitler's inner circle gave vast resources to doctors, engineers, and scientists. And with no ethics, no limits, and millions under their control, some of them turned to unthinkable methods. The human experiments in concentration camps like Auschwitz, Dachau, and Ravensbrück, prisoners became unwilling test subjects. Freezing experiments. At Dachau, prisoners were plunged into ice water or left naked in snow to test hypothermia treatments. Many died in agony. High-altitude experiments. Victims were placed in low-pressure chambers to simulate extreme heights. Some suffocated, others suffered crushed lungs and brain damage. Infectious disease trials, typhus, malaria, and tuberculosis were deliberately introduced into healthy prisoners to test vaccines. Most never survived. Bone, muscle, and nerve experiments. At Ravensbrück, surgeons removed limbs and organs without anesthesia, trying to study regeneration. Sterilization programs. Doctors like Karl Klauberg and Horst Schumann performed brutal procedures on men and women to find mass sterilization methods for populations the Nazis wanted to eliminate. These were not isolated acts, they were systemic, and the suffering was unimaginable. The bizarre and secret projects. While the medical crimes are the most infamous, Nazi science also pursued strange and ambitious projects. Wonder weapons, jet fighters like the Me-262, decades ahead of their time. V-weapons, the first cruise and ballistic missiles. Prototypes for America bombers capable of reaching the US occult and mysticism. The SS funded pseudo-scientific expeditions searching for mythical artifacts and ancient knowledge to support their ideology. Nuclear research. Germany pursued atomic weapons, though their program faltered. They experimented with heavy water reactors and uranium enrichment, and if they had succeeded, history might have been very different. Chemical and biological warfare. Factories developed nerve agents like tabun and sarin, some of the deadliest chemicals ever created. Inside the camps, survivors described the experiments as pure terror. They were often lied to, told it was for treatment or better conditions. Many never came back from the labs. Nazi doctors took meticulous notes, convinced they were serving a greater cause. But their work produced almost no valid medical breakthroughs. Instead, it became a symbol of how science can be twisted when ethics are abandoned. Operation Paperclip and aftermath. After the war, many expected these scientists to be punished. Some were, but others were recruited. Under Operation Paperclip, the United States secretly brought over more than 1,600 German scientists, engineers, and technicians, including Werner von Braun, whose expertise would later power NASA and the space race. Meanwhile, survivors of medical experiments rarely saw justice. Some doctors were tried at the Nuremberg doctors' trial, but many escaped or lived quietly after the war. Legacy and lessons. The bizarre experiments and projects of the Nazis remind us of two things. First, how far human ingenuity can go, both for progress and for destruction. Second, why ethics in science are essential. The suffering inflicted in those camps should never be forgotten. The data gathered at such a cost remains a dark stain on history. World War II gave us radar, jet engines, and rockets, but it also left behind stories of cruelty masked as research. The next time we look at scientific progress, remember this: it matters not just what we discover, but how we discover it. Follow Time Chronicles for more hidden and haunting stories from WWII and beyond.